such a big part of it is the makeup and the costume. And I didn't know what that would be or how it would look or how it would feel to have on you. So going into it, I kind of really broke down the character kind of intellectually, like what I think this entity is, but I couldn't really physically become him until I got all the makeup and the costume on. So that was a very important piece for me to kind of the first time I got to see the makeup on, to see how my face moved and what certain things looked like, and then the same thing with the costume.
Amazing.
What's the transformation?
So today, Bill Skarsgård, who plays Pennywise, is getting dressed in his complete costume, hair and makeup, and we're going to have a camera test with him, and then it's going to be sent off to the studio.
How great does he look? Oh my goodness.
When you start designing a character with these characteristics, you have your ideal in your head and the design of it, and the sketch is the blueprint of what that creature is, and then comes the actor.
Bonsoir. Hello.
Good. It's interesting how the work of bringing these two ideas together, the concept and the reality, and action. The camera test was basically that ring of fire moment where I saw for the first time if my concept matched the application of that criteria on the actor. Mainly it was so fun because one part of me was finally at ease with that certainty of what the pieces would look like together. And it was very successful. And cut.
Good. Cut.
Derry is based on a city called Bangor in Maine, of course. It was the hometown of Stephen King. I'd never been to Bangor before, so I made a trip to Bangor. I was there for a few days and I wanted to see every corner of it. And it was a great experience because, you know, basically every event covered in the book has its place in Bangor.
There's the group. Location. This is great right here.
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
It was prohibited to shoot in Maine. That was my first idea. And we found this amazing town called Port Hope. Immediately, I found like some similarities to Bangor. I found other things that were not like Bangor at all, but they were quite intriguing in a cinematic way. And then after a while, I embraced the idea that we are recreating Derry. The way it's geographically distributed, it gives us a chance to like, really build a town.
That framing with the houses works very well.
This was a very hard location to find because the house at the end of the Neville Street is precisely a house at the end of a street. It had a few specifications that are very hard to find in a location. Because we built this whole thing on an empty land, we needed sort of a corner of a street at the end of a lonely street with not too many houses, with an empty lot across of it. So we find the perfect spot. In fact, I was inspired by the Neville house of the book. So basically this is pretty much a faithful interpretation of what my understanding of Neville was. I think the original has a bit of a red paint, but I didn't want it red, so it's just wood color, but it's built in the Victorian style. It has a bit of a face. It has a smile because it's all crooked. The awning, you see how crooked it is. I wanted that to be a bit of a mirror of Pennywise's smile. If you see the railings, they're all like broken down, and they sort of mimic teeth up and down. So this whole thing looks like a big maw that is waiting for you to get in and eat you.
The first days of it, more than the beginning of the shoot itself, I remember the beginning of the rehearsals. We brought the kids to Canada about 3 weeks before we started shooting, very much by design, because we wanted them to become best friends. That was incredibly important for us. And also, we wanted them to leave their 2016 selves and be kids